You are listening to Fantha Tracks.
It's time to spin round the rim. This is Desert Planet Discs. Star Wars music in a single file. Here are your hosts, Carl Bayless and Greg Robertson.
Welcome to another episode of Desert Planet Discs. This is track 10, our first episode of the wonderful year so far that is 2021. And joining me, as always, my good friend and yours, Carl Mooncat Drums Bayless.
Hello!
How are you?
I'm not too bad, sir, and your good self.
I'm very good. And before I forget, opening the show this week was a gentleman goes by the name of Samurai Guitarist. That was the awesome bluegrass medley of the Star Wars main theme. You'll find him on YouTube, and he's got many more excellent videos. Go and check him out and subscribe to his channel. Yes. So how are you, sir? You're all good?
Yes.
How's 2021 treating you? Lockdown?
Oh, yeah. I've been all over the place. Kitchen, bathroom, maybe around the garden a couple of times, you know. Everybody was so pleased to see the back of 2020, and only a few hours into bang, everything was locked down again. So we're coping as best we can, you know, stiff upper lip and all that.
I'm excited, doing all right. I'm excited about the end. And the end is in sight for homeschooling.
Yes.
Which, when you're trying to do your day job and homeschool 3 boys, is not the easiest.
No.
And I take my hats off to all the teachers out there who deal with my children on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Generally, all teachers, yes. I think parents, the length and breadth of the country have finally realised why teachers need so much holiday, because they have to cope with our kids all the time.
Yes.
So thank you to you all, and yes, never let you be taken for granted again.
Absolutely not. Obviously, last time we spoke, it was our annual holiday special episode.
It was.
We had a long chat about the Mandalorian Season 2 to that point, and obviously since then, Mandalorian Season 2 is finished. And it finished quite a high note. Quite a high note and a sad note, I guess.
Yes.
Depending how you look at it. What did you think then, sir?
Yeah, storytelling of the highest order. Long-term listeners to the show will know of our love for favoloni, as we've christened them.
Sounds like a special pasta dish. Favoloni.
Yeah, absolutely knocked it out of the park. I don't think anybody saw that coming. And I've got to admit, even when they go, oh, one X-Wing, great, you kind of go, okay, is it Dave Filoni or the X-Wing pilots that have been featured in the show so far, and they happen to have come across things, and it's going to be like, oh, and they're backed up by a rebel fleet, and then a lone figure comes out, and you're like, no, it can't be. They wouldn't have done that.
And you see the lightsaber ignite.
And you see the lightsaber, and then you're like, oh, Ahsoka's got an X-Wing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, and then there was
belt buckle.
Belt buckle was the one that gave it away, and I'm like, oh, if it is, this is awesome. And I just wanted to believe that it was going to be Luke, but all the time I was setting myself up for, no, it's going to be somebody who's just like a Luke Skywalker tribute act. But lo and behold, it was. And what?
Oh, look, it's Jake Piebaker.
Yes. It was just like, the way it was done was really, really good. And I know a lot of people have said around the actual sort of CGI that it wasn't perhaps as good as some of the deep fake stuff, but for me, just the essence of that character coming back and being the kick-ass, obviously by this point powerful Jedi, it was just awesome.
Absolutely. And following the credits, that nice little surprise at the end, obviously. Yeah. Well, I mean, upcoming shows. That
was another moment, because having got that, and you kind of going, right, okay, so where does Mandalorian go now as a show? Within 5 minutes. And it was really weird, because obviously that episode aired a couple of days after we got the sad news about Jeremy Bulloch passing.
Yeah.
And although quite often I watch the credits to Mandalorian, when it shrinks down from the artwork to the Lucasfilm 9 pages of credits of CGI people and technical people, I generally tend to switch off. And knowing that Lucasfilm had come out and put some posts out about Jeremy, I kind of thought, it'd be really nice if they just put at the end of it, like a in memory of the original Mandalorian, Jeremy Bulloch, Boba Fett. That'd be really nice. So I actually actively watched those credits right the way to the end. And it was like, it scrolled up and I was like, I got to the end and there isn't anything. Which, in Lucasfilm's defence, I know they have gone back now and they have put something in the end credits of that final episode of season 2. So hats off to them for doing that. With a couple of days to turn it around and things like that, it's probably asking quite a bit, but they did jump on it very, very quickly. But then that iconic exterior shot of Jabba's palace, and you kind of go, is this going to be a teaser for where they go next? Yeah. Okay, so he's going back to Tatooine then, is he? And you get the shot of Bib Fortuna, who, as I pointed out to several of my friends, has obviously been locked down as well. Yeah,
good old Matthew Wood.
Yes, and lo and behold, it's Boba, and we're getting a Boba Fett show. Yeah, the Book of Boba Fett. So that obviously sparked a lot of discussion over whether The Mandalorian was indeed going to be just almost like a Doctor Who kind of series, which I'd said for a while I could see them doing, The Mandalorian, and the fact that it also tied in, you got each of the episodes of Mando has been called a chapter.
Yeah.
So we close the Book of Din and then we move on to the Book of Boba Fett. And then further down the line, you can have the Book of Bo-Katan and whoever else, Sabine. You sort of keep the show going as The Mandalorian, and the title relates to the creed or the code rather than a specific character. But again, we've now got the benefit of hindsight. A lot more has been said about that, and no, apparently Mandalorian will be carrying on the story of Din and possibly Grogu, who knows. But that's going to be at some point in the future, possibly, even as far out as December 2022. The show we're getting next year is a standalone Fett show.
Yeah.
And obviously with Fennec Shand as his sidekick, who it's also been confirmed since the Disney investors call, she is in the Bad Batch.
Yeah, which must just be around the corner.
Yeah.
It's not been announced the date yet, has it?
No.
I suspect it'll be March, but maybe it's not going to be March.
Yeah, I certainly think, and anybody out there that's got Disney Plus will obviously be able to see this for themselves. I think the early part of 2021 is definitely stacked with Marvel.
Yeah.
And there's also, in the last couple of days, a few trailers and things coming out for the Cruella de Vil film.
Yeah, and launching on Tuesday, of course, they've got the new Star add-on to the channel as well.
Yes, so. The additional channel on that. So it wouldn't surprise me if Bad Batch is actually a little bit further down the road, and we get that, perhaps nearer the summer, maybe even towards the back end of the year.
Maybe May time, May the 4th.
Yeah. I mean that would be the obvious one with no other new Star Wars content that we're aware of. Then that would be a good one to pull out of the bag.
Yeah.
To have that, but again, at the moment certainly I haven't heard much around, how long it's going to be as a series, how many episodes there are. Is it going to be an ongoing series? I know a lot of people have said it's a very full era of the timeline at the moment. You've got an awful lot of shows. Rebels happens all around that sort of end of the Clone Wars, start of the Rebellion. You've obviously got Clone Wars itself. You've got the films. There was obviously a massive overlap between Clone Wars Season 7 and Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Rogue One's in there.
Solo. Obi-Wan will fall in there. So
you've got a lot of content going into a relatively small window.
Yeah.
If you think from the end of Sith to A New Hope, you have got 19 years, I guess.
Yeah, it's a bit of that, isn't it? Yeah.
So Luke goes from just being born to, I was going to Tashi Station to pick up some power converters. So it's obviously something that they're looking to address with the new High Republic era, branching out into different areas of the timeline. But we watch this space, I guess.
Watch this space indeed. So, getting back to some music, sir. We're going to stick with some guitar themes. Following off our intro there with Samurai Guitarist. Here's another guitar-based theme. This is the Imperial March in surf style. Surf guitar. Take it away.
Hi, this is Vanessa Marshall, and you're listening to Fantha Tracks.
So that was the Imperial March surf guitar version in the style of Dick Dale and that surf guitar sound. And that was by, and you'll have to forgive my pronunciation here, Yuri Krivoshein. We found him on YouTube, and go look him up and check out some of the other stuff he's done. Really, really nice. All the parts are played and recorded by him, so yeah, very talented gentleman. So we've entered 2021, as we were just saying, and although from a TV and film content we seem to be waiting on tenterhooks for things to be announced and released, one thing that crops up regularly, like clockwork, are those lovely Hasbro toy announcements and toy releases. So we've had one Fan First Friday already this year.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's like I've just heard 1,000 geeks in terror with their bank accounts.
Yeah, I can, and we can exclusively reveal tonight that Hasbro will be releasing more toys.
Probably more Boba Fett's as well.
yes, probably a few more Boba Fett's, especially to tie in with the Christmas market around the launch of the Book of Boba Fett. But yeah, we've seen a few more Black Series announcements, particularly a couple more of the Bad Batch figures.
Yeah.
With the very nice black paint job clone.
Yeah, that is
which
really nice.
Looked really, really nice. And the guys at Hasbro also did something that was a bit new for the last call, which was announced their pipeline, which was basically even further back than the sort of here's concept art and here's everything, actually saying, right, these are the figures that we're planning to do in the future. So it was a bit of a novel approach, and apparently that's been very well received by fans and collectors, although I did somewhat sarcastically point out to some people, yeah, it just gives everybody longer to moan about why they haven't picked X, Y or Z. Yeah.
I think the other problem, obviously, it's tricky getting these figures.
Yeah.
I mean, sadly, gone are the days when you'd be able to go into, like, Toys R Us, obviously it's no longer here, Smith's Toys, or your local toy shop, all the cool stuff for automatic comics and toys, and go and pick up your action figures off the shelf. It's getting trickier and trickier to do that these days, and sadly the supermarkets and just not getting enough supply of these things in, sadly. No. I used to enjoy going out with my eldest Elliot, and when the Clone Wars was in its peak, and you'd go and see like shelf upon shelf of all these Clone Wars figures. I just don't get that now, which is sad.
No.
But that's my sad moment for the week.
Yeah.
But some stunning figures, and any in particular caught your eye?
I'm actually reining in my collecting spend for a bit at the moment, because I had built up a lovely fund to spend on stuff at Celebration in 2020, which obviously didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I've kind of got through it. So not only do I have some lovely Black Series and some lovely Star Wars books, which we were talking about off air earlier, I've just taken delivery in the last couple of weeks of the stunning Art of the Mandalorian, the Phil Sozak book, which I've become a bit of a fan of these art of books.
They're stunning, aren't they? It's just a couple of days ago as well, and I've started reading my way through it, but just looking at the pictures.
Yeah.
Are you actually? The wife will be like, "You actually reading that?" I says, "No, I'm just looking at the pictures."
Yeah, you just look at the pictures because they're ace.
You just went to drool, you know.
Yeah. And I've also just this morning taken delivery of the abridged version of the Star Wars Archives 77 to 83 from Taschen by Paul Duncan. I think the full version of the book is landscape.
It's like a big A3 thing, isn't it? It's about huge. £100 or something.
And it's about 150 quid. And I've seen it a few times and gone, I would absolutely love that. But sadly, not had the pennies. But this abridged version is, it's a little bit bigger than A5 size, I would say. Yeah, it's a little bit over A5 size, but it's really thick. It's a good 1.5 inches thick, and it just looks absolutely stunning. And that was £20.
A bargain. I think about what I paid for it. What I picked it up in Costco.
Yeah.
On one of the random trips you go to Costco. This is, somewhere to go.
Yeah. Oh, we can go in there. It's open.
Where we go? Oh, I found a Star Wars book.
Yeah. Toy collecting wise, I do have the archive reissue of the Shore Trooper on order.
Nice.
From our good friend Dave Tree down at All the Cool Stuff.
Check them out. Get your pre-orders from there, baby.
Yes. So I think that's the only one. Yeah, there's a couple that I was kind of, part of me does want to go and get the Bad Batch line, which I think is possibly one of the best things to have come out of the new reboxing, is the fact that rather than, obviously there will still be people out there who are utter completists, but
Martin Keeler.
Yes.
The Martin Keeler, sorry.
The Martin Keeler.
The Martin Keeler.
As he shall forevermore be known. Because of the different colour schemes associated with the different film or TV lines, it does give you that bit of scope to just dip into collecting a particular line if you're into a particular property. So the Mandalorian line if you want, or obviously the Rebels line, or Bad Batch. So I was tempted to go in on that, and I may still end up going down there.
I made the decision because I was starting to spend silly money.
Yeah.
And, I've decided to stop buying the Black Series, and I kind of decided that I would just get Mandalorian Vintage Collection figures and the Mandalorian Retro Collection figures. But even now, I think there's been a few more kind of announcements in terms of Vintage Collection, and I think I just can't keep up.
Yeah.
So I think I will stick with the Retro Collection in terms of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
See if they hopefully do some more of them once the initial 6 come out. But I did get, I think the last Black Series I had on order arrived, which is the stunning deluxe Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, yes.
And he is a great figure.
Yeah, it's a great figure. And a few of us went to Wales Comic Con, which
wasn't in Wales,
despite the name, was actually in Telford in Shropshire. And Ahmed was there, Ahmed Best. And I know Mark spent some time with him. We have jingles and things, but I think Mark did an interview for Star Wars Insider with him, and he was absolutely lovely and very, very busy as well, which was also good to see.
Great to hear. He's lovely guy. I met him in Chicago. Got a nice picture with him in the kind of quick in snap, off you go.
Yeah.
But nice guy, and it's nice to see that Jar Jar getting the love.
Yeah, it's quite funny having gone through that sort of era of people hating the prequels, and there are still people who don't like them, but I think with the benefit of distance, people are looking back on them more fondly now, and you kind of wonder whether the same will be said of the sequel trilogy in years to come.
I'm kind of hoping it turns around in like 20 years' time. Everyone is on the same board as me and loves The Last Jedi. Because it is a stunning film, ladies and gentlemen. I love The Last Jedi. Apart from the Favier riding through the streets scene, which, so that film I love to bits. Anyway, well, obviously you mentioned Mark there, and it would be remiss of us not to mention that Mark did an interview recently with the Star Wars team at Hasbro.
Yes,
which you can check out in the Fantha Tracks YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, like and subscribe.
Indeed, and that's also where you will find our weekly news show, Good Morning Tatooine.
Nice.
Which usually airs on either a Sunday or Monday. I know it has been on a little bit of a winter holiday, but I'm assured it is returning shortly, and really good fun. News-style programme discussing the news of the week and what's hot in Star Wars. And if you really, 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 really want to, you get to see the people, some of the people behind Fantha Tracks. So I know Mark and Mark.
And the Funky Bunch.
Yes, from Making Tracks have been on there. Obviously Brian Cameron, host of Cannon Fodder. Matt's been on there as well, and I think Paul Naylor's been on 1 week because they were obviously short of people that week. Love you really, Paul. But yeah, if you want to see what we all look like, which is pretty much as you would imagine,
Watch Crime Watch.
Watch Crime Watch, or yes,
Good Morning Tatooine.
Check out Good Morning Tatooine.
Speaking of TV and appearances, we also touched upon upcoming films and TV that were announced at the Disney shareholders thing back in November, December.
I think it was late November, early December.
Yeah, we covered it in our holiday special, but
The holiday special.
there has been some more information kind of leaked out or been pushed out from the official channel since then.
Yes, we've seen lots more set photos from the sleepy village in England, or the disused quarry rather, that is actually the base for the set of Andor. Not, as has been reported in the British press, the Obi-Wan show. It is in fact the city main buildings and things that are being used in the Andor series.
Yeah.
I
think it's actually officially been announced that Obi-Wan Kenobi's shooting in the States, isn't it? I think that's in Again, if you want to get the full lowdown on how we know that it's definitely Andor, go to fanthatracks.com and check out, there's a brilliant article on there, expertly researched by a gentleman we mentioned previously, Mr. Brian Cameron, who is an absolute whiz at looking at like Company's House and all these sorts of places, and has really dug into the sort of the legislative paperwork that has been completed or submitted and signed off by the government and people like that to allow filming to happen, and all the sort of easements and everything that are required. It sounds a bit geeky, but it's really, really thoroughly researched and is a really good read. Proves once again that if you don't always believe what you read in the press, but always believe what you read on Fantha Tracks. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so one of the other things that was announced at that shareholder meeting was indeed a raft of TV shows, as we previously discussed, but also I think it was the single film project that was announced as part of that call.
Yeah, because Taika Waititi's film had already been announced.
Yeah. And that was, of course, Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, excited about that one.
Yes. Have you seen the teaser?
Yes, yeah.
That gave me goosebumps, and there's nothing really that Star Warsy about it.
No.
It's just, if you haven't seen it, folks, it's Patty Jenkins rollerblading around a runway, airporty runway sort of thing, and basically giving us a bit of an insight into her childhood. And her father was a American Air Force pilot, and her sort of obsession from a young age with fighter jets and aircraft and things like that, and how she's always wanted to make a sort of Top Gun kind of film, and also that she was a massive Star Wars fan. And she sort of rollerblades up to the back of her car, gets changed, you can't really see what's going on, and then she walks down the rest of this runway in an X-Wing pilot costume towards an X-Wing, and it's just like, okay. And she's basically saying that she wants to make Star Wars Top Gun, which will do for me.
Exactly. And Rogue Squadron, a new group of pilots in Rogue Squadron, I think, was the other kind of... Yes,
that's been the thing that's come out, because isn't it set, and I could be wrong here, after Return of the Jedi?
I think that's the story, yeah.
Yeah, so again, moving away from that very cluttered era at the beginning of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
And, starting to fill in some of the timeline between Jedi and the new trilogy. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see again how that goes and how that develops. Could that become a film series? Could it be film with an offshoot Disney Plus series?
Yeah, what's scope there?
Could it be a Rogue One and they all die?
No.
Who knows? Who knows? Sorry, spoilers for anybody that hasn't seen Rogue One. It's been out 5 years. It's been out 5 years. I think that's fair game. So yes, and almost like we planned these things, that leads us nicely into our next track, which is Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron, all wings reporting. Rogue Squadron, lock gas falls in attack position. Rogue Squadron, we've got a mission in the Death Star plans. We'll engage the enemy. This is our only chance. The stakes are high. We cannot fail. So cut the chatter. You've got one on your tail. Rogue Squadron, Rogue Squadron. All wings reporting. Rogue Squadron, Rogue Squadron. Lock gas falls in attack position. Rogue Squadron. Watch for enemy fighters. Here they come. This ain't like dust and crops. The battle has just begun. Rogue Squadron, Rogue Squadron. All wings reporting. Rogue Squadron, Rogue Squadron. Lock gas falls in attack position. Rogue Squadron, Rogue Squadron, Rogue Squadron, Rogue Squadron. Stay on target, stay on target. Almost there. Stay on target, stay on target. Rogue Squadron, Rogue Squadron. All wings reporting. Rogue Squadron, Rogue Squadron. Lock gas falls in attack position. Rogue Squadron, Rogue Squadron, Rogue Squadron, Rogue Squadron. Rogue Squadron, Rogue Squadron. All wings reporting. Rogue Squadron, Rogue Squadron. Lock as full. Rogue Squadron, Rogue Squadron, Rogue Squadron, Rogue Squadron, Rogue Squadron.
Hey, this is Royish Good Looks, and you're listening to Desert Planet Discs.
That was our good friend Royish Good Looks with Rogue Squadron. Go and check him out on YouTube. He's got lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of excellent tunes on there. Subscribe to his channel. Fantastic Star Wars original songs, parodies. Go check him out.
And he's on Patreon as well,
Indeed, yeah.
which is fast becoming the lockdown musician's portal of choice. So you can subscribe to his Patreon channel as well, and you get different levels of subscription that you can fund what he's up to, get exclusives and things like that through. So yeah, please do check him out, support him. Obviously a very, very good musician and massive Star Wars fan, and hopefully sometime this year we may get round to speaking to him again. He did an interview with us a while back now.
Yeah, it was Christmas 2019, I think.
Yes, I think it was. So I think we just started talking about doing Baby Yoda songs. So
Yeah.
of which he now has several. So yeah, definitely need to get him back on to have a bit of a chat with him. And another one of our friends is also been quite busy during lockdown. Din from F-105. It has got a new EP coming out on March the 23rd called Side B, which sounds a bit of a strange title, but it's actually half of the new F-105 album. The plan for the album apparently was to record some songs solo acoustic and some with a full band. Obviously, pandemic has put pay to the full band recordings, so what he's done is do all of the solo acoustic recordings, and he's putting those out as sort of part of the album digital release on March the 23rd. And then once he's obviously able to complete the rest of the full band tracks, then he'll be putting out the whole album and hopefully doing a physical release as well to tie in with that. We will be featuring some of the songs from Side B in upcoming episodes, but like a proper radio station, we're currently under embargo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've spoken to Dean and he's happy for us to feature some of the songs, but yeah, we're awaiting clearance for the official release and the all the press launch that he's got planned for the first single from Side B as well. So hopefully going to be featuring one of the songs from that in the next episode, so stay tuned for that.
Absolutely. And not stopping there, another good friend of the show, or friends of the show I should say, the immensely talented Nick Brokenshire, artist extraordinaire for Star Wars Adventures and his very own comics. Too much to mention. So many quality stuff this man does.
Yes.
And an Aberdonian to boot, which makes him really good. Nick of Blues Harvest, who obviously friends of the show, had our Blues Harvest special last year. He's recently released some solo tunes under the moniker Broken Harvest, featuring some of his Blues Harvest brothers, including fellow Famfa and Blues Harvest and Darth Elvis and Friends collaborator Andy Life and Drums.
Indeed.
The legend Andy. He's released 2 songs. Check him out on Bandcamp. Hopefully we feature them on a future show.
And we'll probably end up getting the guys on to talk about them as well.
Absolutely.
Always good to chat to the guys from Blues Harvest, so we'll get that arranged, I think.
Yeah, plus we mentioned Blues Harvest. Remember, you can go and buy Maiden Space on Spotify, and also subscribe to them on YouTube and check them out on Facebook and Twitter and all the social media channels.
Indeed.
But as I say, check out these songs by Nick Broken Harvest on Bandcamp. But talking of Blues Harvest, our good friends in Blues Harvest, we did a special back last year about Maiden Space, their live album. Back then, they also teased a collaboration they were doing with Steve Costantino, who played the Gamorrean guard who was killed by Luke Skywalker on the sail barge in Return of the Jedi.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and I think way back in the distant years gone by, when Blues Harvest...
8 years BP, before pandemic.
Yeah, oh yeah. I think this was their debut gig, yeah. I think, at Star Wars Fan Fun Day in 2014. They had Steve Costantino jump on stage and jam with him at that show, and they've been friends with him ever since, and kept in touch to the point that they just released this lockdown pandemic special of Whipping Post.
such a fool, but I had to stand by and take it, baby, all for loving you. I drown myself in sorrow as I look at what you've done. Oh, but nothing seems to change. The bad times stay the same, and I can't run. Sometimes I feel, sometimes I feel like I've been tied to the whipping post, tied to the whipping post, tied to the whipping post. Good Lord, I feel like I'm dying.
That was Whipping Post by Blues Harvest featuring Steve Costantino, originally by the Allman Brothers Band. And I forgot to mention before kicking in there, obviously Nick Brokenshire is obviously a talented artist, talented singer, talented guitarist, but he's also a new dad. So from myself and my brother Carl,
yes,
congratulations go out to new parents, and the congratulations on the birth of baby Ezra.
Yeah,
who you may hear on Broken Harvest tunes on there.
yes, starting him early in the recording trade,
putting his dad to shame. He's got set pipes on him, by the sounds
I'm
of
going
it.
to say fearsome set of pipes. So yes, congratulations, and as I say, we'll no doubt get to speak to Nick and Andy in the coming months. We've got so many things planned for 2021 and Desert Planet Discs. A load more specials, interview specials with some of the great and good of the Star Wars music world and the wider music world who just happen to be Star Wars fans. So please stick with us, and we're here to entertain.
Or try to.
Or try to.
We
yes.
try our best.
Yes, we're very trying.
And if we don't, we apologise.
Yes. All complaints to Martin Keeler, the Martin Keeler, care of the Zooviums. So that about brings us almost to the end of this first episode of 2021. As we say, we're obviously still rather locked down at the moment, so not much happening in the way of events, and certainly TV seems to be towards the end of the year. But anything coming up on your horizon, Greg? Star Warsy?
Yeah, well, we've got a little group watch coming up. The exciting news, I guess, Disney Plus is releasing The Muppet Show in the next week or so, I believe.
Yes.
And we have a little group watch set up to watch the Star Wars Muppet episodes with Mark Hamill. So very much looking forward to that. Other than that, what's happening? I have a music video to finish recording.
Really?
Yeah. I think you might have to be doing something for that as well. So
yes.
Been very busy with work, but hopefully, touch wood, I will be starting my filming of that this weekend. And then once I have managed to get rid of my potentially contractual obligated beard and the awful thing on top of my head, which is what hair I have left, once I'll be able to shave that off, I will be getting back into Darth Elvis mode to do some more filming for that video. But also, I'll be doing some more Darth Elvis recording because we've got another tune in the pipeline.
Yes.
I think the music's down pretty much. A little bit extra bits from yourself, and I've got some vocals to record, so that'll be getting done hopefully in the next week or so. And another couple of old tracks I'm playing about with, I'm going to be demoing as well. So that's me. Hopefully this time next week I'll be finishing off Touchwood, filming, doing some extra work on not Star Wars, unfortunately, but another upcoming movie project, hopefully. Touchwood. But if that doesn't happen, I'll be shaving the beard off and getting all the video done this weekend.
There we go.
So that's me. That's what's happening. And we're obviously finishing off One Division in the coming weeks, which is fantastic.
Yes, been very, very much fun watching that. Yes, I think I'm ploughing into my recent book acquisitions. So bookworm ahoy, and like yourself, watching the conclusion of One Division, which I think it's fair to say has had a mixed reception.
Yes, I think people were too quick to jump on it based on the first few episodes, but which I loved.
Yeah, we were saying before we came on air, I want a soundtrack album that has all of the sort of sitcom themes, and just like forget all the orchestral stuff and everything else. I just want those sitcom themes as a soundtrack album. But there's a few little projects in the pipeline that are a little bit hush hush at the moment. So. Ooh, yeah, get me. So, yes, but I'm sure more will come out about those nearer the time. So, yeah, other than that, yes, we're locked down and waiting to find out if we'll be allowed back out again.
Yeah, the prospect of going to watch a gig, going to the cinema, going to a convention, and going to a pub, yeah. And actually being able to perform a gig again. If when it happens, can't be.
Yeah. No, I'm in a similar position. Gigs and one of my bands, we're sort of 2/3 of the way through recording an album, and we're all really excited about it. And it's just like, no, we can't finish it. So so that's hopefully not too far down the road. But yes, let's see what Father Lockdown brings us for.
Yeah, come on, Jimmy Cranky, get it sorted. I want to get. I need to get a pub. Come on, Jimmy Cranky, sort it out.
Yeah, we want to get to the pub.
Fandabby dozy.
Yeah. So to wrap us up for this first episode, we have a track. Found this one via Fallen Superhero 69 on YouTube, and it's the Force theme Star Wars Hardstyle remix. So this one goes out to fellow Fantha, Claire Henry and her Ibiza girls. Glow sticks waving and...
Large in it.
Yeah, having it large in Ibiza. So, as I say, brings us to the end of our first show for 2021. Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much.
Stay tuned to all of the great shows coming your way on Fantha Tracks. Don't forget to subscribe and listen to all of the wonderful shows, and we will see you again very soon.
It's a hot dang from me.
And it's a hot dang from him. Hot dang.
Your destiny lies with me, Skywalker. Obi-Wan knew this to be true. There is no escape. Don't make me destroy you. Join me, and I will complete your training. If you only knew the power of the dark side. Your destiny lies with me, Skywalker. Obi-Wan knew this to be true. Join me, and I will complete your training. Obi-Wan never told you what happened with your father.
He told me enough. He told me you.
I am your father. There is no escape. Don't make me destroy you. Join me, and I will complete your training. Obi-Wan never told you what happened with your father.
He told me enough.
I am your father.
Thanks for listening to Desert Planet Discs. If you want to stay part of the action and up to date on all the latest Star Wars news, check out the Fantha Tracks app via the App Store on your mobile device.
You can contact us via email at radio@fanthatracks.com. Comment, like, and share on any of our social media feeds at Fantha Tracks, and be sure to subscribe. Leave a review, preferably a 5-star one, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcatcher or smart speaker of choice.
Don't forget to head to fanthatracks.com/radio home of Fantha Tracks Radio, and follow us on our social media feeds at Fantha Tracks, and bookmark fanthatracks.com for all the latest in Star Wars news.
Coming up next on Fantha Tracks Radio, it's Making Tracks.